together, baby.
But this is called a cargo man.
Okay.
Cargo.
Elizabeth, you get to pick a big piece also. Look, Jack, show her your big pieces, because we got to decide which big pieces.
So you said Who said it?
I said, you got the cargo thing. What is Elizabeth going to pick? We need one more big piece. It's her choice.
How about this?
How about she chooses?
Here, you have this. I have the cargo.
All right, Jack, give me some more track.
Okay.
All right, Elizabeth, we'll make them get you the track.
This split. How about this sloppy split?
All right, well, then I'm going to need the regular straight track, honey, okay?
This one.
That big container behind you. Yeah, slide it over.
Mommy, I want both these.
Well,
so they come together.
all right, but everybody look at me. How big is the table? Where are we going to put the actual track if we have all these things? Right?
This is the big table.
So can I have that bin, please? Of the straight track. Yeah,
The
thank you,
straight track.
Elizabeth. Oh, jeez, Louise, it's heavy. Okay.
I'm stronger.
You are the best.
I'm stronger because I'm a girl.
Oh, the girls are stronger than boys? I hear you.
Maybe I'll be strong next year.
You'll be strong next year?
Yes. How about I'll put my muscles will pop out.
Get out.
I'll pop out soon.
No way. Do you have muscles already, Elizabeth? Okay, all right, I'm making...
What are you doing? What's he doing, Mom?
Making a movie.
Making a movie?
Mm-hmm.
I made an elephant. I don't know about anybody else. And I'm very proud of it.
I'll take it.
Please?
Please, I mean...
Elizabeth, can I make you an elephant?
Yeah. Okay. Well, Mommy, I'm another elephant too, maybe. Sometimes... Maybe I'll use...
I have an idea. Do we know what the word jealousy means?
What?
That means when I give Elizabeth something, you get a little upset because you're jealous because you want it then. But we're here for everybody to play together. Here's one blue elephant for Elizabeth. What color elephant would you like now, Jack? You have an orange one. Would you like a different color one?
I'm gonna have blue.
Of course you do.
Just like Elizabeth.
Of course.
I have blue in here.
I have more blue, honey. It's okay. We'll make him a blue elephant. So you each have a blue elephant.
Blue elephants and the black one, okay?
Elizabeth gets the next choice.
You get the black one.
Elizabeth, would you be so kind to give this elephant to Jack? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now, would you like a black one? Well, you know what we're going to make? A herd of elephants. Do you guys know what a herd is? It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of them, and they go like this in the jungle. And
No. These are trunks.
What do they use their trunks for? Does anybody know?
You have to do like this and down.
Elizabeth, do you
Up
know?
and down. Up
Elizabeth,
and down.
what does an elephant do with their trunk? Do you know, baby?
They sing.
They do. Did you know that?
One zoo.
All right, but.
You want to have day off? You want to have day off? Do it.
Can you see Elizabeth?
Okay.
All right, you guys. What are you doing? Is she the
I'm gonna see. I think you blue.
Get the monster.
Yes. I don't know. I'm gonna shoot the camera.
Story of Jack, our son. He was diagnosed at 1.5 years with moderate autism. Prior to that 1.5 years, we need to say that he was unable to be held. He barely ate. He wouldn't barely be breastfed, barely bottle fed. He primarily screamed all the time. He would sleep. We went from our pediatrician kept saying that he was colic and we had new mother syndrome. And then we kind of believed them, right? And then he kept getting sick all the time. Multiple ear infections. We kept going to the doctor. They kept giving us loads of antibiotics, and it seemed to go away and then come back again. And he was always still irritable. And then at about a year and a half, when they said he was diagnosed, we went to a doctor. They said moderate autism. Here's an 800 number for Kozak, and then go call and figure out how to get your son well. So we went on the internet, and that's the truth. We went on the internet, and all we knew was Rain Man at that point, what autism was. We did some research, and we found some holistic ways of trying to get him well. We found a lab out in Oregon that said they would test for food allergies, because at this point, that was the first thing that was all over the internet that we could find that would help autistic kids. So we sent away for their catalog. We ordered a food kit. We ordered a mercury kit. We ordered some other level, all these crazy kits. We spent all this money, we had all these tests, and we had to go to the hospital and take blood and give urine and have it shipped back there, and we did all this, and then they sent us the results, and the results came back, and one test said he could have a slight tumor. Remember, he was like allergic to 50 different things. He barely ate anything, and so it was like a big turmoil. And on the bottom it said, if you need any help with these diagnosis, call Oregon. Right? So I called Oregon, I got this lady in front, I'm like, you're telling me my son has a tumor, and in print, and we're like, holy Hannah, what does all this mean? And I said, I need a doctor on the East Coast, somewhere in New Jersey, that could, help us. So she gave us the name of Dr. Neubrander in Edison. We immediately called him to get an appointment, and we did, right? And we went to him, not knowing anything about him. We went with these stack of papers of all these test results and of our story of how Jack used to bang his head all the time. He didn't say any sounds. He was
chewing on the crib.
We used to take the splinters out of his mouth with a tweezer, like some really crazy stuff. And we went there with all this, and we asked him, like, what can we do? And at that time, I guess it was an hour or 2 hour appointment with this man, and he kept going on and on about what these tests meant and these enzyme levels and all this crazy scientific stuff. And my husband's looking at me, I'm looking at him, we're trying to follow along with this guy saying, not really knowing what he's saying, and we're just like yesing him, yeah. And then he comes back and says, there's this diet you should do, gluten casein free, and we're kind of looking at him like we can't even get the kid to eat now. And then he went into this MB12, or back then it was actually B12 shots, so it wasn't even M, that we could be giving, and he's doing a study that helps these kids scientifically. I don't remember what he said, and that it would help our son get better. We got it all. We took it all in our head. We got in the car. My husband looks at me. I look at him. We're like, this guy is absolutely nuts. I actually said to my husband he should be wearing a buffalo head on his head because he was coming off with such far-off stuff. I think he even mentioned something like chelation. We had no idea. We thought he was like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. So the whole ride home from Edison, truthfully, to our house, I'm trying to convince my husband why we should use him and why we should do his protocol. And my husband's like shaking his head going, this guy's crazy.
So we're referring to him as Dr. Bombay.
Yeah, Dr. Bombay. I mean, like, because he's nuts. And so we decided that by the time we got back from Edison to our house, I told my husband, we had nothing to lose. Our kid's crazy as it is, what he's doing. Let's try this protocol. So we did. We put him on the gluten casein diet. We tried all these supplements, and we started this MB12, or this big B12 back then. So the first thing Dr. Neubrander did was give us this lovely cream that we're supposed to put on in the middle of the night when Jack's sleeping, rub it on his rear end, and give him a shot. And in reality, Jack's not supposed to wake up in the
beginning. He's waking up screaming. We had to hold
him
down.
So here's two of us.
It was very, very difficult.
At that age, they're in onesies, these zip-ups, where they're not even two-part pajamas. So the first night, not thinking, I'm trying to unzip my kid, take it down, put the cream on, put it in his butt. Two of us, without waking him up, tiptoeing in the dark. And we're like, this is insanity. So the next day, I'll never forget, I get on the phone, I call Dr. Neubrander, I'm like, the guy is nuts because he has a one-piece pajama. How am I supposed to fit this thing in his butt? He's got a onesie on, as far as what we called him back then. So he's like, okay, well, maybe you could try it during the day, blah, blah, blah. So needless to say, we did try it. We found a time and a thing that worked for us. And I'd say probably a week or 10 days after that, we saw immediate differences. We saw he was able to focus. This was early on. We didn't really see language. What we saw was an attention span.
More verbal.
You need, guys, we're talking right now in front of a camera, so can you go really quickly? No. Back in front of the, in front of the TV. We'll be there in 1 minute.
Go.
Go, please.
Be right
1
there.
minute. Go to the TV. Nope, not until we're done. Okay, so 7 to 10 days, I'd say immediately after that we saw results. Now you have to realize this was early on. We were expecting, like Jack would say, mommy, daddy, oh, I don't know, we would just about take any word. And that's what we thought would happen immediately from the shots. But that's not really what we saw. But we did see dramatic changes when we saw alertness, cognitive. He seemed to be understanding his surroundings. He seemed, I want to say, more serene. And at that point, he was letting us hold him, which is huge. He didn't let us do that before.
Never let us hold him, even as a baby.
Never.
He would always scream and cry and
he just seemed more content.
Absolutely.
Okay, but like I said before, we wholeheartedly jumped into Dr. Neubrander's protocol. So we did the shots, we did all these crazy supplements, we did all this diet, and then we did the B12 back then. And then I kept saying to myself, this is really kind of difficult giving him a shot all the time. Let's see if we stop the B12 shots. Let's see if it makes a difference. Maybe it's the supplements, the diet, the OT, whatever, and the speech. So I got the prescription refilled for the next time. Then he was giving it every, I think, 30 days. And after 30 days, I stopped it. I kept everything else the same. I stopped the B12 shots. And immediately we saw a difference. He was less connected. He was more irritable, obviously less affectionate. So we jumped back on the B12 bandwagon. And I didn't tell Dr. Neubrander until I would see him the next time. And we kept doing it again. And when we started that prescription, the second one up again, we saw all the good stuff that we were seeing prior. But, a couple of months and all that passed. And, Jack, this is when he's like a year and a half, is still not talking. And now they're working with him. Maybe we're getting sounds, and then we're getting like very brief, apraxic words. And then Jack started speaking. We've been doing this a long time. Jack started speaking about 3 years old. We had his first words, and then right from then he started really talking quite a bit. And as that went on, the tantrum started to lessen, and he started to get better. We might have stopped the diet. We made a change to supplementation. And then when he was getting really well, I looked at my husband and said, truly, this is a pain in the butt, these shots. Maybe we can give that up too. We already gave the diet up and all this other stuff. He's doing so well. Let's stop the B12 shots. So that's probably MB12 by then, right? So once again, we stopped them, and Jack was verbal. Jack was off the diet, and Jack was in preschool. We stopped the shots, and immediately we didn't tell the teachers. We sat in school. That next day, we get a note home from the teacher. I'll never forget. What did you do to Jack? And I didn't tell him. He was hyper. He was disconnected. Remember, he was like kind of acting.
Wasn't focusing. Wasn't listening.
Crazy. They thought
decreased.
They thought we fed him something crazy, and I didn't tell him about the shots. So I didn't give it to him the next day. I sent back, and I didn't say anything. I sent him in the next day, and the teacher called me and said, what is this kid on? He has to be allergic to what he's on. And we're like, okay, we're fast enough. We stopped these shots. We don't really understand it. We're going to start him back tomorrow. We started him up after 2 days of being off, we went back on him. We sent him to school, and she wrote back, thank God, in big letters, I'll never forget it, thank God you're giving the kid the shot, because we couldn't deal with him without being on the shot. And immediately we saw a calmness. The language was more clear.
Focus, listening.
Focus, his ability to learn in school, without a doubt, was much better. And now he's 4.5. We're still doing the shots. Back then it was every night. We do it every third day night. I can't say that sometimes I don't want to stop them, but truly, we really think that's the one thing that is a stronghold that we continue to do. At this point, he is completely verbal, doing very well in school, in a typical program. He is not on the diet. He is not on the supplementation. And the only thing that we are a stronghold is he's still doing the B12 shots. And that's kind of our story.